Hi everyone, this video is about prepositions of time. Let's take a look at these. Prepositions of time in English are the words at, in, and on, okay? And these are examples for how to use each one. When we are talking about time in English, we use at to say at night, at 10:30, a specific time, at noon, which would be 12 o'clock p.m., at midnight, which would be 12 o'clock a.m., at bedtime, or at sunrise, or at sunset. So we use at to talk about specific times on the clock or times of day. We use in to talk about the morning. So in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in February. So in a month, okay? In is used for all of the seasons. So in summer or in the summer, in the spring, in the fall, in the winter, or in winter. It's also used for years. In 2013, in 2025, okay? It's also used for decades. So that's 10 years. A decade is 10 years in English. So the 1990s, the 1980s, in the 1970s. Okay? And we say in a few minutes. If someone needs our attention, we say in a few minutes or in a few seconds. So we use in for time periods that have a range, okay, that have a range. And then we use on for days of the week. On Sunday, on Monday morning, on Tuesday afternoon, on Wednesday evening, on my birthday, on a holiday. So if it's one specific day, on Christmas Day, for example, on May 5th, the exact date of something, on a weekday, which would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. We talk about being on time to class or on time to work. That means that you got there when you were supposed to. We also talk about plans on the weekend. What are we going to do this weekend? On the weekend. Okay. These are all really good examples. I like this chart because it gives you the exact examples of when to use these prepositions at, in, and on. But I have some other ways to help you focus on the rules for when to use them that you might find helpful. Let's take a look just at the word at. Anytime we're discussing a clock time, at 9 o'clock, come to my house at 7:30 p.m. At noon, we eat lunch at noon. That's the same as we eat lunch at 12 o'clock. At midnight, I am usually asleep at midnight. Also the same as saying I am usually asleep at 12 o'clock. We also use at for other times. At night, we watch TV at night. Or dinner time, lunchtime. Take off your hat at dinner time. She wants pizza at lunchtime. So at is all about times, exact clock times, 9 o'clock, 7:30, 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock midnight, or at night, that's a phrase in English, or at dinner time, at lunchtime. Okay. Now let's look at on. On is used for days of the week. So we have free time on Monday. I play baseball on Thursdays. If the day of the week is plural, it means every Thursday. So this person, we have free time on Monday, has free time this Monday, one Monday. I play baseball on Thursdays means I play baseball every Thursday. Okay. They unwrap presents on Christmas Day. My son always eats chocolate cake on his birthday. So these are exact days. Christmas Day is December 25th. His birthday is a specific month and date. Okay. We can also do on the weekend or the weekends. Okay. He has hockey practice on the weekend. Okay. When they go do sports. I study English on the weekends or on weekends. If you say on weekends, that means every weekend you study your English. We also use on for specific dates, okay, just like we did up here for Christmas and birthday. She has class on September 10th, so the month and the number day. I am going to a party on the 1st of July. That's July 1. He has a doctor's appointment on Monday, December 2. They got a new car on January 10th, 2014. So anytime you have an exact date, we use on. And finally, in. Okay. When you're talking about the time of day, not the exact clock time, but a time range during the day. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I take a shower in the morning. You have English class in the afternoon. We study in the evening. Also, anytime you're using a month by itself or a year by itself. So, for example, my birthday is in June. We don't know which day in June, but because we're using the month, it's in. It would be on if it gave the exact date. My birthday is on June 5th. But because it's just June, we say in June. Same with the year. She went to Europe in 2015. We don't know what month, what exact dates, so we use in to explain that she went in 2015 that year. Also, we use in for the seasons. We go camping in the summer. They like to ski in the wintertime. Okay. So again, these are some other ways to think of those rules of when to use each preposition. Here's another chart as another way of looking at this. Okay. Here are the prepositions. Okay. At, on, and in. So let's look at. It's used for specific time. At 7:30 p.m., at noon, at night. On is used for days and dates. On Tuesday, on July 4th, on the weekend. In is used for months, years, seasons, or long periods of time. In 2025, in the summer, in the morning. Okay. So now that you know those rules and we've looked at them a few different ways, you can look at this chart again and see the examples. Okay. You can pause the video here if you want to reread these examples. Here are some questions that you could practice with about prepositions of time. What time does this class start? This class starts at 9:00 a.m. What time does this class end? This class ends at 12:00 noon. What do you usually do at 6:00 p.m.? At 6 o'clock p.m., I usually eat dinner. What do you usually do on the weekend? I usually play with my kids on the weekend. When is your birthday? My birthday is July 20th. When is your favorite holiday? My favorite holiday is on July 4th. What do you usually do on Christmas Day? On Christmas Day, I usually open gifts with my family. What time do you usually wake up? I usually wake up at 6 o'clock a.m. in the morning. What time do you usually go to bed? I usually go to bed at 11 o'clock p.m. What do you like to do in the summer? In the summer, I like to swim outside and go to the beach. Okay, so those are some practice questions for you in which you can use the prepositions at, in, or on. Thank you for watching this video.